Hello and welcome back to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel, your source for all things Everton. I'm joined again by Owen and Terry to preview the start of our Carabao Cup campaign for this year. Of course, second round draw because we're not in European football against Salford City. I mean, there's only so much detail we're going to be able to go into this video. We're not claiming that we're particularly clued up on Salford. Of course, we know they rose very quickly through the ranks in the non-league system. Of course, owned by the class of '92. We'll speak briefly about kind of Darren Gibson. Not too much to say, but I mean, Terry, coming over to you first. I mean, what were your thoughts on the draw? Kind of initially, it's quite a good one to get at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll take any home draw, to be honest. Even against Premier League teams, if you're at home, I think it's even without the crowds, it just gives you that big advantage because you know that a lot of the teams you're going to play aren't going to be focusing on the League Cup because until the later round. So if you get a Premier League team, then you might get a rotated Premier League team to play against, and if you're playing a lower league team, if you go away to their ground, then you're in for a rough night, like we saw last year with Lincoln. But there's no crowd, and if you're at home, it's your crowd. So I just want a home draw. Don't care who it's against. I'd even rather play the very big teams early rather than in the later rounds when they start, putting proper teams out. I'd rather get Man City in this round or the rounds after than I'd get like a Salford because under normal circumstances, because Salford are going to go for it a lot more than they will. But I think you can't ask for more than a home draw. And as you say, I don't know the first thing about Salford other than they're owned by Gary Neville and the class of '92, and they've got Darren Gibson playing for them. I won't sit here and lie about it. I think all we're going to be able to talk about is what type of team we're going to play.
Yeah, Owen, do you have any initial reactions to the draw when it first came out?
Yeah, I was really pleased because I think I always, people say what draw do you want, and I just always want like a League Two team with an injury crisis. I'm not playing Man City early on doesn't really bother me. I just want the easiest possible draw at all times, and yeah, I think we've got poor fail if we win this or something, haven't we?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, that's not a bad draw for the first couple of rounds though. At the end of the day, and then I mean. And then we can kind of get into our team. As much as I'd love to see James Rodriguez turn it up against Salford City, I'm not sure necessarily that's going to be the case. But Owen, which players from Sunday do you think we're going to rest? We'll get into who we want to see, but who do you think probably won't play going into this game?
We probably won't see one of the centre backs. I don't think we'll see Dean. I think he might play on Cuckoo. I think he'll probably play Davis and Sigurdsson and maybe Gomez. Walcott, Bernard, or Gordon, and Keane up front.
Yeah, Terry, who do you think we're going to see going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like us to go, take it dead seriously. I think this cup's on a plate for us. Obviously, you can't win any cup without a slice of luck, and that you can't account for that. And that's what often where we've gone wrong in certain times over the years. But there's been other times where we've just not took it seriously enough and been put out early. I'd like to see us play a strong team, even though it is a lower league opposition, and just get it, make a statement. We're going for this cup, but I don't think they will. I think they've got a big squad, and he's probably obliged, not obliged, but he's probably promised a lot of players you'll play in these type of games. It's common throughout. Throughout all of football, basically, there's a reason. There's a reason teams rotate, even though we haven't got Europe. I think he sees that the 11 that played against Tottenham, give or take one or two players, is probably his first team, and he's going to go for the Premier League games with that. We'll probably see a much changed team. I think Moise Keane will definitely start. I think we'd see Anthony Gordon. Branthwaite if he's fit, Nkunku, Kenny. Don't know about the keeper. I didn't even see Lassell on the bench, did we, against Spurs? But no. I think the new signings, I couldn't imagine any three of them will play. I think that there's obviously a lot of players in their positions who aren't as good. I think they'll come in and give them a rest so they're ready for nice and fresh for Watford. But if I had my way, I wouldn't change more than 4 or 5 players and keep a good core of first team starters. But I just don't think it'll happen. I think he'll feel that like the second string players should have enough to beat a team at this level.
Yeah, I'd like to see a bit of experimentation, but also because if we go with a similar system to what we did against Spurs, also to see which other players fit. I mean, we've spoken just before about Iwobi. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be fit. I think he was injured for the Spurs game, but players like that who you don't know if they're going to fit into the system, especially in that midfield three, might be a good chance to generally just see the experimentation there. Of course, I'd like to see John Joe Kenny play. I think it'll be interesting the battle between him and Coleman this year. We've obviously started Coleman. Kenny will probably come in this game. If he massively impresses, yes, he's not going to break straight into the team, but you never really know. Clearly, the club are probably going to keep him around. They're giving him the number 2. Doesn't seem like they're really going to go in for a right back now, so it seems like he's here for the season. I'd like to see Branthwaite play. I'm not sure if he ever played against Salford in his 9 games for Carlisle. That's probably quite unlikely, but he obviously did come from League 2 just last year. Nkunku, yeah, maybe. I probably wouldn't want to risk Luca Dean, to be honest. But again, I mean, we can say the old cliche, like he doesn't often get injured, but that's an absolute curse, isn't it? You don't really want to say that. But again, there's a stat as well, that Allen and Decore, I mean, they don't even miss games, themselves anyway. I don't know how many games. Something like Decore's missed 3 in the past year or 2 years or something like that. I don't know what the exact stat is. Allen didn't seem to miss a lot for Napoli until he kind of lost his play. Well, definitely under Ancelotti. He played a lot of games there. So maybe we'll see them again. Probably see Gylfi Sigurdsson, Tom Davies, players like that. Maybe I think we might just keep Allen in the team just because he's probably the only player we have at the moment who can play that role, just kind of sitting back. But then it also depends, do we continue with this 4-3-3? I definitely think we should get used to it, get the rest of the squad used to it. And it worked very well for us. I think we'll see Walcott. I think seeing Walcott play the right wing instead of James Rodriguez will be it'll bring us definitely back to earth quite quickly. Obviously, he'll play a very different role at the end of the day. He's not that kind of creative player. It's much more getting up and down the line. But it'll be interesting there because I think a Kenny and Walcott dynamic down the right is a completely different dynamic to Coleman and Rodriguez, because that's not the fastest right hand side when we play those two. But Kenny and Walcott at least have some pace about them. Yeah, I'd probably see Bernard or Iwobi on the left, and then I'd like to see Moise Kean start. I presume he will. He might just stick with Calvert-Lewin just for a couple of players for the continuity. Sometimes that benefits him massively going into cup games, but I'd like to see Moise Kean. But that's kind of it from my squad thoughts. I mean, we can kind of talk about the cup in general. Is this something we want to have a real good go at this year? Because there are a lot of teams with. I mean, everyone's got a congested fixture list. We've started like a month later than we usually do, but we've got a lighter one than some of the European teams and not the teams in Europe. So, Terry, do you think we should really give this a go this year?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I mean, we should be giving it a go every year because, every year that we're not in Europe, because let's be honest, like the other top teams will only take it seriously if they get to the later rounds, and it's there. It's like this should be a really good cup for us to win. And let's be honest as well, something we didn't touch on a minute ago was we're playing a League 2 team. The Sigurdsson and Walcott and who else, they should be able to beat a League 2 team because they were our first teamers only like 6 months ago. They were starting if they were fit. And this year, I think, is the year to win it because if you get drawn against lower league opposition, you've got much less chance of being put out because they haven't got their home crowds or like they won't be able to get themselves up as much as they previously have. You mean you'd hope so? I'm sure this will be clipped up if we go out against Salford, but this is the year where the cup shocks to lower league teams are going to be less likely because they haven't got their home crowd to sort of give them that great leveler, and the bigger teams won't be as interested in it because they've got such a congested fixture list. It's absolutely begging this cup for us to go out and win it, especially with this manager who's got a history of winning cups because the previous managers we haven't. Let's be honest, this one has. So if he could win this cup, I mean, it'd just be how Everton would it be to finally break the trophy talk and there's no fans there? Like it's so. Put your money on Everton winning it this year because there is nothing more Everton than that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, our 2 games we played in pre-season were League One and Championship. I mean, it is still early days, but also, I mean, the Preston game was fairly easy. We won't talk about the Blackpool game, but at the end of the day, this is worse opposition than the teams we played when we didn't have any fitness at all, basically. So, I mean, we should be looking to win this game. Owen, do you think this is definitely the year we should? I mean, every year we say, oh, we could really give it a good go. Then we go to Southampton on penalties. We go to Millwall because of a handball in the last minute. I mean, everything seems to happen when we play in the cups. But is this the year we should probably be giving it a good go?
It just reminds me of that Millwall game when Neil Harris told the fella to turn the telly off so he didn't see the handball. Oh, that was excellent. Yeah, no, but I think we should definitely give her a go this year because we've got the league and that's all well and good. But I think we, as fans, we did really well in the League Cup last season. I thought, and though we got knocked out on penalties, but I thought even with Marco Silva as manager, we did give it a good go. I think we didn't really our performances in the League Cup are much better than the league. Now we want our league performances to be good too, but I think if we go in on the front foot in these games, you win a couple of games and you're suddenly in the quarterfinals. That's how quickly it turns. We've got, if we beat Salford, I think we've got 4 fail away. I think that's how it's worked out. But either of them, you beat them two, you're in, I think, the 4th round or something. They get serious then, and you don't know. It's a flip of a coin, cup games, but I think we've certainly got the manager who knows how to sort of work his way through a cup competition, which we really haven't had because we really haven't had. I think quietly, but Martinez knew how to get through a cup competition. Just didn't know what to do for the rest of the 38 league games. But I think with Ancelotti, I think he'll know how to play these cup games, and whether it be a different team or even a different formation. Some cup games, I feel like I was having a conversation with someone last night saying if we got into Europe, you'd quite fancy us with Ancelotti because he knows how to sort of navigate his way through a European competition. I think the same goes for a cup competition. I think the more games we win in it, I think then it becomes more of a possibility, and then you're relying on his sort of tactical nous in these games, in the bigger games later on, to sort of win it. Hopefully by then fans are back in and we should have some sort of, celebration with this. But yeah, let's get to win the games, get through, and we'll see where we go.
Yeah, just to round off predictions, Terry.
I think with a 2-0 win, Everton.
Oh, I was thinking that's
Pretty clear.
Own predictions.
4-1, Everton.
Yeah, I just think they're nailed on to score. We always seem to concede against teams like this, and everyone's a bit nervy for a couple of minutes. But I'll go for a 3-1 Everton. I mean, who knows the scorers? We don't even know who's going to play. But thank you very much for watching. Do let us know down in the comments what your predictions are, what your thoughts are on a draw like this. Check out all the Toffee Blues social media. Check out Terry and Owens as well. Thank you very much for watching, and join us next time on the Toffee Blues.